Have you ever looked at someone who's learning Chinese and just thought, how are they getting it so fast, while you feel like you've been stuck for, well, forever? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the real secrets to making progress fast. And here's a hint. It has way less to do with cramming textbooks than you'd think.
Oh man, it's such a common feeling, isn't it? You're putting in the hours, you're drilling the grammar, but when it comes time to actually speak, you just freeze. You've hit that dreaded plateau. Does that sound familiar? Well, what if I told you the answer isn't about studying harder at all? This quote right here, it gets right to the heart of the matter. See, the real secret isn't about locking yourself in a room with a mountain of flashcards for hours. Nope, it's all about building a natural, easy, daily connection with the language. It's those small, consistent things you do every single day that truly build fluency. All right, so here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with the big secret to fluency. Then we'll dive into daily habits for speaking and writing, and then reading and listening. After that, we'll talk about how to make it all stick, and we'll wrap up with the very first step you can take, like today. Okay, so here's the big idea. The goal is to just weave Chinese into your everyday life. It's about getting your brain to kind of live in the language, even if it's only for, say, 10 or 15 minutes a day. It's a huge shift in mindset, really. You're moving from studying Chinese to just using Chinese. All right, let's dive into some super low-pressure habits that are designed to wake up your Chinese brain. This first part is all about production. Actually getting the words out of your head and into the real world. Okay, so habit number 1. Now this one might sound a little weird at first, but trust me, it's so effective. Just talk to yourself in Chinese. Seriously, think about it. When it's just you, there's absolutely no pressure, no fear of making a mistake, zero judgment. You can just focus on getting your thoughts out, and that is the absolute fastest way to start actually thinking in Chinese instead of doing that constant exhausting translation in your head. And look at how simple this can be. You're literally just narrating your own life. I'm cutting the onion. The water is boiling. Where are my keys? You just say what you're doing out loud. It creates this powerful direct link between the language and your actions, and after a while, it starts to feel really automatic. All right, coming in at number 2. This next habit takes that same idea and just puts it down on paper. Keep a one-sentence journal. That's it. Every single day, your mission is to write just one sentence in Chinese. It could be about what you did, how you're feeling, something funny you saw, anything. It's such a powerful way to connect the language to your actual life. And this is the really cool part. A single sentence might not feel like a big deal, right? But look at this timeline. Over just 1 month, you go from "it rained today" to something much more complex. You can literally see your ability growing. You're basically building this custom library of sentences that are all about your life, which makes them so much easier to remember. Okay, so we've covered output, speaking, and writing. Now let's flip the script and talk about input, taking the language in. This is all about immersing your senses and turning those little moments in your day into awesome learning opportunities. Which brings us to habit number 3. Read one short thing every single day. And notice I said short. The key here is frequency, not how much you read. Forget trying to tackle a whole chapter of a book. The goal is just to make reading in Chinese feel like a normal, everyday thing. And the best way to do that is to pick stuff you actually find interesting. And the great thing is, Chinese is literally everywhere once you start looking for it. Social media posts, comments on YouTube videos, comic strips, even the packaging on some snacks in your pantry. Seriously, every time you spot a character or a word you know out in the wild, your brain makes this super strong connection. It's like a little aha moment. All right, next up, at number 4, we've got a habit you can literally do with your eyes closed. It's all about passive listening. Just think about all those times when your hands are busy, but your brain is kind of on autopilot. When you're cooking, cleaning, on your commute, at the gym. These are golden opportunities to just have a Chinese podcast or some music playing in the background. You're not trying to understand every word, you're just soaking in the sounds, the rhythm, and the tones of the language. So, you're speaking, writing, reading, and listening. You're doing all this great stuff, but how do you make sure it actually sticks in your brain? Well, these next few habits are all about reinforcing what you're learning and building that long-term confidence. Okay, habit number 5. This one is an absolute game changer for your memory. Review a few words every morning. I'm talking just 5 minutes, maybe while your coffee is brewing. Just a quick look at a few words you've learned before. Think of it like a little wake-up call for the Chinese part of your brain. It keeps that vocabulary fresh and stops it from fading away. And there's actually some cool science behind why this is so powerful. It's a technique called spaced repetition. Basically, when you review stuff at the right intervals, you're sending a signal to your brain that says, hey, this is important, don't forget it. And that's what helps move vocabulary from your short-term memory into your long-term memory where it really sticks.
Okay, number 6. This is where we get a little brave. It's time to take your learning public.
You've got to interact with real people, because at the end of the day, that's what language is for, right? Communication. It's time to shift from just studying to actually using it. And listen, this does not have to be some deep, scary conversation. It can be as simple as joining an online community on an app like HelloTalk, or just leaving a simple comment in Chinese on a social media post. Every little bit counts.
And that brings us to our final habit. Number 7. This one is such a clever hack. You change the language on your phone or on some of your apps, it basically turns this thing you stare at all day long into a constant learning tool. Every single time you unlock your phone, you're seeing common, useful words. Your brain just starts to soak it all up through sheer repetition.
Now I know what some of you are thinking. Switch my whole phone to Chinese? No way. But hold on, don't panic. You don't have to go all in at once. Just start small. Pick one social media app you use all the time and switch just that one. Live with it for a week. Once you're comfortable, maybe add another app. This way, it feels totally manageable, not scary.
So there you have it. 7 really powerful but simple habits. But look, knowing about them is one thing. The magic only happens when you actually put them into action. And the key, the absolute key, is to start small and just be consistent. If you take away just one thing from all this, let it be this. Fluency isn't built in those marathon 4-hour study sessions you do once a month. No, it's forged in these little, tiny, consistent moments that you sprinkle throughout your day. One sentence you read, one phrase you say to yourself, one word you review. That is where the real progress is made.
So what are you waiting for? There's no perfect time to start. The perfect time is right now. Just look back at these 7 habits and pick one, just one, that you're going to start today. Maybe you'll talk to yourself while you cook dinner tonight, or maybe you'll write that one sentence in your journal before you go to sleep. It doesn't matter which one you pick. What matters is that you just start. So, which one is it going to be?